Hello, what's going on guys, and welcome to Pocket Nation. It's me, Frankie here, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can play Nintendo Switch games on your Android device using the Eden Switch emulator, which in my opinion is arguably the best Switch emulator for Android. In this video, we're going to go step-by-step process how you can download the emulator, what are the files required for the emulator, settings, and how you can update a game. So let's begin. So the first thing you're going to need is, of course, the emulator itself. And here you can download the emulator from their official website. Link is in the description. Or you can do a quick Google search. It is that easy. And once you are in the website, as you can see, the emulator is also available on multiple platforms like Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and more. But we are here for the Android version, which is right here. Click on the download button and it should take you to this website. Here, just scroll down until you find the download section, which is right here. And as you can see, there are multiple versions of the emulator, but we're going to be downloading the standard version, which is this one. And as you can see, our emulator has started to download. And after it's finished, just install it. Now, as you can see, the emulator has been installed. So let's open it. And here it's going to ask for some permissions. So grant it if you want. Now, as you can see, the emulator will require key files and the firmware files in order to run any game. So you're going to need to download these two files, which you can easily get after doing a quick Google search. Many websites are hosting these files and are offering easy downloads. And one thing more, guys, the key files should be in the prod.keys and title.keys format. So if the files are in zip format, then just extract it and you should be good to go. And also the firmware files should be in zip format, and you don't need to extract it for it to work. So now to install those files, click on the keys option. And now search for the folder where you had the keys files and select it. And it should be installed. Now click on the firmware and again search for the folder where you have the firmware file and select it and install. And to add games, just click on the games option here and locate where you have your ROM files. And now our setup has been completed. Click next and get started. And as you can see, my Switch game collection is here. Now, before we start playing, let's talk about the settings here. What settings you can tweak and what not, as some games might going to require specific settings to be turned on or off, so I will advise you to always tweak or play around with the settings according to the game. Now, let's talk about the settings I personally use to play all my games. Most of the games I play are mostly on the default settings, as games that are compatible with the emulator runs great with the default settings. Because the truth of the matter is that Switch emulation on Android is not as matured as it is on PC. So no matter what settings you try, if a game is not compatible with the emulator, there's always a high chance that it will not work, no matter what you do. But I'm also not saying that none of the games will work. It will be very hit and miss, and smoothness of the game still mostly depends on the power of your phone's chip. It is recommended to have at least Snapdragon 870 for a decent experience, and for the best experience, higher than 8 Plus Gen 1 with minimum 12 GB of RAM. So now we got that out of the way, let's go through the settings I'm currently using. Just like I told you, most of my settings are in default except for this one, limit speed %, which I have set to 115%. As for some reason, this settings gives me about 4 to 5 frames per second more as compared to default. So if you want, you could also do the same. And every other options are left at default. Now go back and on the graphics setting, I have set the resolution to 1EX, which is 720p in handheld mode and 1080p in docked mode. You can lower it down if a game is not running at full speed or at a playable frame rate according to your device power. I have a Snapdragon 8S Gen 3 device, which is a fairly powerful processor, so it should be able to handle it. Now scroll down and here you could enable Force Maximum Clock option, which will use more power from the processor of your device, and sometimes in some games it might lead to better frame rate and performance. But mind you, this is only for Snapdragon devices. MediaTek and other processors will not get any benefits turning this option on. And all the other settings are at default. And from here, I have changed nothing from any of these options on different settings. So now go back And on the controller settings, you could easily bind any Bluetooth controller from here by just clicking on buttons here and click the button on your controller, and just like that, bind all of the buttons on your controller. It is that simple. And after you complete binding your controller, go back to the main menu and open GPU Driver Manager. Here, you can install custom GPU drivers, as a good and compatible GPU driver could really enhance your overall experience, as it could fix bugs, glitches, broken frame rate, and can give you better performance. But again, mind you, this is also only for Snapdragon processor, and it would not work with any other processors. So if you have a MediaTek device, then stick with the system GPU driver. And here, there are two ways you can install GPU drivers. One way is to install the drivers locally from your phone's storage. If you have any driver downloaded, by just simply locating the file and install it. Or you could directly fetch those drivers from the emulator by clicking on the fetch option right here. And it will also recommend you the best driver for your GPU, like it is recommending me Mr. Purple T23 for my device, which you can download by clicking here and click on the latest version and download and install. But I will recommend you to tweak around with this one too, as different games might work better with different drivers. And finally, our emulator has been set up, and now you can try running some games. But if you want to add updates to your game, then you can easily do it by long press on the game you want to update and go to Add On option, and click on the Install button. And it's going to ask you what you want to install. And as you can see, you can add DLC, mods, and cheats if you have any. For now, we're going to update. So select the option and click OK, and locate where you have downloaded the update and install it. And now your game has been updated. You can play wherever you want and whenever you want. So enjoy. And holla guys, that's how you play Nintendo Switch games on your phones via Eden Emulator. I have shown you step-by-step process on how you can download, install, and run games in this emulator. So if you found this video helpful, then a like will be really appreciated. And if you want to know more about this emulator, then you might want to check out this video. And I'll see you guys there. It's me, Frankie. Peace out.